Good evening, everybody. Welcome back into this reading, Pisces. This will be your energy check, a general energy check for Pisces in the month of March 2022. 2022, yeah. March 2022. Let's call upon a divine guidance, our angel, ancestor, my spirit guide into this reading for you, Pisces. And we'll see your energies with 6 questions and answers in here from my spirit to you. Okay, so again, take what resonates with you guys and leave the rest. Okay, now the first question would be for you, Pisces. In the month of March, what is your most significant energy in the month of March 2022? What's your most significant energy here? I'm reading reversals around this portion in time. So the cards show up in the reversed format. I will definitely take it, okay? So your most significant energy in the month of March of 2022. Okay. The next question would be your challenge or your fear. Your fear or your challenge. What is the fear or challenge? What's a challenge rather? Okay. What's your challenge that you're expecting in this portion in time? Some of you may know about it. Some of you may not be aware of it. But what's your challenge here? The third question is your blessing. What is the blessing that you are, probably it's a blessing in disguise that you don't know, you're not aware of it, or some of you may be expecting this blessing to happen. So what is your blessing in here in the month of March of 2022? Let's see. All right. The fourth question would be your environment. What is your environment talking about in the month of March 2022? What's your environment talking about, Pisces? What's your environment talking about? My spirit's advice to you in this portion in time for you, Pisces. What's the spirit's advice? What is spirit trying to tell you here? The next question would be the last one. Is your probable outcome. Now that will depend on individual timeline, guys. So some of you might see the result quickly. Some of you might take a little bit longer to see the result of this reading, which is your probable outcome. Okay, it all depends on your astrological natal chart positioning as well as your timing factor. Okay, so your probable outcome. Now over here, let's see. The bottom of the deck is the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, the 3 of Wands in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse, the 3 of Cups in the reverse. Wow, okay. The 7 of Pentacles and the Judgment and Temperance. Okay, so you are clearly coming out the 10 of Swords. Yeah, there has been some kind of a situation that has caused you a lot of pain. You're trying to recover from that situation. Okay, the recovery process will take its time, whatever the amount of time that is required for this recovery process. You're not yet in the recovery process, but you want to, and that could be with your health, your wealth, anything that has completely brought you, down, kind of a situation here. It's been very brutal. Now take it in the way it resonates with you. So with temperance and judgment and the Seven of Pentacles, you are clearly thinking about, um, something new in your life once again, basically. So you're trying to recover, but what I'm trying to say is that your recovery process could be a little bit different. You're more focused on your um, material prosperity. Some of you might be having a tough time with your monetary situation, right? So you want to start something totally fresh. You're thinking about it, right? What is the right decision to make in this situation? And you're trying to be very cool about the whole thing. You're trying to go with the flow of your energy. You don't want to stress out. You don't want to be anxious. You're taking, it's like you you're trying to control your own anxiety, your own stress, and you're letting it, like, being very cool about the whole situation, right? um and that is because, somewhere you are quite focused on, even if it's not totally focused, it is a starting point of something new. For some it could be money, for some jobs, for some career, for some it could be relationship, anything, right? But something new in this tangible world. And you're kind of, um, what I'm getting, guys, that there is an awakening that you have to do something about your own life situation. You can't stay put, right? You can't stay put in one single place. You have to do something more. You want to do something more. But the thing over here is that you just don't want to impulsively um, do something. You know what I mean? Just not because your impulse is telling you, okay, go do this, you go do that. You don't want to do that. You're taking your time to analyze your own situation, how much of that is a possibility for you, or really how much can you actually go and do with that situation. So yeah, so you're kind of working on that recovery process. But like I said, this process of recovery is something that is depends on what your circumstance in life will allow you to do now. Okay, now over here you have the Three of Cups in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse, right? And the Three of Wands in the reverse. So what has happened in here, guys, is what I'm getting. There has been a clear lack of foresight in your life, or in you, Pisces. um, where you haven't really given yourself that time or energy to be more creative about your own situation. And you have been very, you have focused more on people out there. Could be social parties, situation, trips, friends, people out there. Could be your relatives, your extended family. But your main kind of concentration was for people more so out there, which clearly now you're realizing, or you will realize in the month of March, that had been a total lack of foresight in your situation. That you have, with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, that you have over invested in a situation, right? That today you feel you have to just turn back the hands of your time and start something for yourself, like only for yourself, basically looking at your own recovery process in life. Okay, because you are going to realize, or it's coming to the point of you realizing, Pisces, that you have wasted a lot of time, energy, money, anything on people, on other situations, without giving yourself the chance to think about your own future, or what you want to do with yourself. So your concentration, and that was more because what I think, guys, is that somewhere you, Pisces, had been emotionally codependent on those people for your happiness. You felt your friends would give you happiness, your extended family, could be your neighbors, could be strangers, could be acquaintances, anybody. So there was some kind of codependency on people out there that you were attached with, which clearly today you can see was a clear lack of foresight. You did not see what can happen. What you saw then was probably what you saw then, but you didn't think what's going to happen, say, a year later, or 2 years later, or maybe 3 years later. And then you haven't really expanded for your own benefit. And that is because somewhere you were tied up with people who were more important to you because of that emotional codependency, rather than you working for yourself or moving out. So some of you could have got stuck in a place only because you didn't want to leave your friends or your colleagues or your co-workers or your neighbors, anything, right? So you felt very comfortable there, and you said, okay, I'm not going to move from there. I know these people, they are my friends. Anything I ask them, they're ready to help me with. So that kind of a codependency had evolved between you and your society or social circle, more so, right? Where you have invested overinvested your time, energy, money, anything. You have overinvested on that situation. Okay. Now, your most significant energy in the month of March, guys, is the Seven of Wands. So your most significant energy is telling me that you're kind of getting ready for something, right? You probably want to break this circle of your life, or the cycle of your life. And you know that if you have to break that cycle, or that circle of your life that you have overinvested in for yourself, you will have problems. I mean, people will not just let you go. They'll try to stop you. Some will demotivate you. Some may even come forward and criticize you for doing what you want to do. So you have to fight this all by yourself. But you're coming to the point, is what I'm getting. I'm going to clarify this. You're coming to the point of understanding, guys, that you have to stand up for what you believe is right for you. So even if other people, that cycle of your life, people from there, your colleagues, your co-workers, your boss, anybody in life is telling you, oh, don't do that. It's not going to fetch you good results if you leave this place, if you go elsewhere, blah, blah, blah. And you're trying to tell yourself, your most significant energy is that you will be fighting a lot of adversaries around this portion in time. And these are adversaries from situations who will be against your idea, or who will be against what you are doing or trying to do at this point in time. They don't want to support you, right? The Queen of Wands in the reverse. This is where you will have a lot of conflict with your workplace, or in your workplace, or in your home. Because this kind of an attitude That's what I'm getting. This kind of an attitude will bring over a lot of conflict situation in your life. That conflict can arise in your home, in your personal place of residence, or it can arise in your workplace where you're probably trying to move from. You found a better opening somewhere else, and other people are trying to discourage you and tell you, don't do that, because you have been a part and parcel of their life for a long time. So they don't want to let you go. It could be a little bit selfish reasons that you have overinvested, you have been very generous, right? So you have provided a lot. So your generosity will be missed if you leave that situation. So that kind of an attitude, that you are building up in your life, your most significant energy, will definitely attract a lot of conflict situation in your personal or in your professional life in the month of March. Okay. Now your challenge is the star. So your challenge over here, guys, is you want to. Your challenge is to keep your faith alive, that you can do what you are trying to do. That would be your challenge, because you will be discouraged. There will be a lot of conflict. There will be a lot of issues around you at this point. So you will have to go through a little tough time, both in your personal and in your professional life. So the challenge over here is, despite all these kind of adversaries or adverse situations, how do you manage to keep your faith alive? Right? You believe in the universe, or you believe that you have a purpose in your life that you want to fulfill, and for which you have faith that one day or the other you will be able to fulfill that purpose. Right? Faith, hope, and purpose. Your hope is that whatever you have been working for, or whatever you have been dreaming about, whatever you have been thinking about, and more so with your destiny, your future. How do you even keep yourself recharged is also a challenge, right? You can, because the moment all this happens, it could be a possibility that, you could feel a little bit weak mentally, maybe physically for some, emotionally for the others, right? So your challenge would be that despite all the oppositions that is going to be happening in the month of March, how do you keep yourself in shape without losing your faith in yourself or in situations that you are fighting with? Right? So that is quite a tough challenge, guys. But it is a challenge that the universe is throwing in at you in the month of March, because that's your birthday month, right? So they are going to test you. They are definitely going to test you. They are definitely going to see if you're able to go through this challenge in the month of March 2022, guys. Okay, so it is going to be a little bit tough. It is going to be a little bit difficult, but again, it all depends, right? The Six of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, because there are a lot of memories in you at this point in time that you will have to, nostalgia, right? A lot of nostalgia, things from the past that you could be thinking about. And that would possibly bring you back your faith, your purpose in your life as well, right? Which you haven't been able to let go. Maybe you remember your childhood years, right? You remember something that was beautiful in your life when you were young. Anything that has got some nostalgic attachment to it, but at the same time, it is also a part of your story where you have to move away from this attachment. Let me see. The Six of Cups in the reverse. There is something that you are still, your challenge is to let it go, maybe, and not think about things that makes you unhappy as well. For some of you, I'm even getting that, right? But something where you have kind of lost your playfulness in yourself as well. The High Priestess, yeah. Which you haven't spoken about. For some, it could be, guys, for some, it could be that you have childhood issues, or you had some kind of difficult growing up years. For some of you, for some, it could be some past situation that you're still kind of holding. You have not been able to forgive or forget that situation, and you have not been speaking about it, but intuitively, that's your energy. Intuitively, you have been attached to something, and that kind of has, has brought your energy down. Like, you don't feel like being playful, you don't feel like being light. It's a very heavyweight energy on you, more so, right? Yeah, the Fool in the reverse. Yeah, where, you could come to a point in your life in the month of March to understand that you had been a fool, in reality, to hold on to those memories. Like, there is no outcome from those situations except pain, except feeling very heavy. You don't, when you think good things, you feel light, right? But with the Six of Cups in the reverse, it is a very heavy energy sitting over you, where a lot of memories are tied up with a lot of difficult situations in your life for some of you, and which you have been preserving inside of you. You haven't let it out with the High Priestess. You haven't really vented it out, but then you're coming to your realization, and that is where your challenge will be. If you can think about this in a different way and tell yourself that, it's a foolish act. It's an act of foolishness, right? Why am I going back and thinking about, it's like digging up the grave to find only skeletons in the coffin, right? So the more you dig, the worse it gets. So it's like, you are poking in places which only brings you back bad stuff, bad memories, feeling very heavy, not enjoying that, basically, right? So your challenge would be to get rid of this energy and consider this, that it was a part of your foolishness in yourself to have even thought about this. So your challenge would be to rejuvenate, to recover from this historical past in your life. That would be definitely a challenge for you if you can do that, right? So whether you take it as an act of foolishness or not will completely depend on you. But if you do consider yourself, accept the fact that it is not giving you back any pleasure, accept that it is a part of your foolish act, that every time you think about things, it only brings back bad memories for some of you, right? And like I said, the more you dig, the worse it gets, because there are no good memories there. It's only bad memories. So the more you dig, the worse it gets in your head, right? So if you can kind of consider that as a part of your foolishness and let it go, then your blessing is the Knight of Pentacles. Then your blessing would be, then you will be able to actually move forward. But something this, all this work and home situation, conflict, and everything could also be a part of your past attachment, past memory with somebody in your life that you have been working with in your personal or professional life. Maybe you had a boss or you have a boss with whom you have worked for years, but there are a lot of things that you don't like about him or her, right? And it's an example. So the more you think about that situation, and that phase, you relate it with that incident that feels very heavy on you. It doesn't bring you happiness. So this is the time that universe is saying rejuvenate, recover, let it go, heal. It's very it's heal, and it's also healing and forgiving. Very important for you in this period in time. And it's a challenge. It's sitting in your challenge position, which is again what you do with it, right? But your blessing, like I said, is the Knight of Pentacles. Once you can get rid of this situation, universe will open their door for you, and you will be able to move very slowly. Of course, you won't be able to rush immediately, but whatever you do in your life, you will start to act upon it. You will start to act upon it with a much more clear mind, basically, right? Clear mind, clear energy, starting to see if you can build something in your life once again, right? So that's taking action in the 3D as a form in your blessing situation here, guys. Okay, the 10 of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. You see, because again, the 2 of Cups, the blessing is that, you will have, you have somebody in your life, Pisces, with whom you have been attached with, a partnership, a friendship, somebody with whom you have a soul connection with. But that part of the situation has come to an end, or had come to an end in your life, okay? Which is where, see the 4 of Wands in the reverse, where you, some of you probably have had to separate from your better half. There has been a legal divorce, because the 10 of Cups in the reverse, there is a commitment that ended, right? And you might not realize it, Pisces, but you will realize it sooner or later as a part of your blessing, where you could have felt very hurt when all this happened in your life, right? That you loved somebody, yet you had to break away, or there has been a divorce, or there has been a very end of a commitment, lifetime commitment with somebody, right? But the blessing is that because this has happened, a lot of things in your life you are realizing, or you're learning to realize better, or you will be and you will actually what I'm getting as a part of your blessing here, guys, is that because this has also been a learning lesson in your life, and to me it looks like this has already happened in your life, okay? This end of a marital situation, friendship, relationship, love, it's ended, right? It's ended. There had been a lot of conflict, there had been a lot of problems, everything has happened for a reason. Maybe there is a blessing in disguise in here that you don't know, right? And the blessing in disguise could be that it is making you more aware of your own energy. Like, what is that you need to do? Now, whatever you do from here onwards, Pisces, that could be your blessing. That whatever you do further on, you will think very carefully, right? Because you might have had a relationship where you took a very hasty decision, right? And this is what I'm talking about, is in your prior situation before, right? Where you did not give it enough time to think. You did not really calculate your expenses, your money, whatever that situation could be, right? You did not plan it well. So you might have just rushed into a situation because you fell in love with somebody, you wanted to get married, you got married, right? And then you could not, because you were not prepared, you could not stick with your commitment in here, right? Because everything in life is a preparation. If you're not prepared to go into a relationship, yet you jump into a relationship, then obviously it will be very difficult for you to stick with that after a while, right? Where you're not prepared and you lose interest because you're all over the place and you don't know what to do with yourself, right? So your blessing is that because this situation happened in your life, you are becoming more, you're becoming more aware of your own energy, and you are not taking an impulsive decision. You're becoming more calculative, you're planning things well, you're looking at your budget, you're working on your monetary part, right? Everything that you are doing or you will be doing, will be with a lot of diligence, a lot of hard work. You won't just take things lightly anymore. You will put in a lot of hard work in situations, because this situation in your life, Pisces, has taught you a big time lesson, right? So this is where you're coming to the point of understanding that going forward, your energy is changing, where you are becoming a much more responsible individual. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Now, environment is talking about the Fool in the reverse. So, environment is saying, don't do anything right now. If you are planning on something new at this point, just hang on. It's still not the time to take that leap of faith, right? Don't do anything reckless in this period in time, because there could be in the environment, there could be a tendency to do something very reckless in here. That is there in your challenge energy too, right? With the Fool in the reverse. That as soon as you're clearing your head about your past situation, you immediately want to move and do something reckless. So they're also saying that that would be an act of foolishness if you take that without planning, without thinking. So don't do anything reckless around this portion. Environment is telling you the same thing, right? Page of Pentacle. Think about situations. Work with your intuition. You want to manifest. You want to start something new in your life. But at the same time, because you are very new to this project or to this situation that you are building up in your life, don't be reckless about anything. Give it enough time. Think things through before you eventually, the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, before you eventually invest in a situation here. It could be a new business opportunity, a new, for some it could be new relationship, for some it could be a business, work, anything, right? So you have to be very practical at this point, right? You have to be very practical in understanding what is the most practical way of investment, of monetary independence, financial happiness, your rewards, your success, right? But don't do anything reckless at this point in time. Just don't go and invest in a place because somebody tells you, oh, that particular share is building up, or that particular company is giving good amount of money for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you immediately take your stuff and go and do some investment. Don't be reckless. You want to manifest, you want to make your money grow, you want your financial freedom, all is good, but you have to take your time to investigate, to do your research, to find new opportunities, proper good opportunities. That will in turn bring back your money in the right way. Okay, so environment is saying be very careful what you're doing at this point. Learn about the situation. If you're investing your money in a company, for example, research that company, right? Find out what the stock shareholders have to say. Find out more about their staff members. Find out their past history or whatever that story could be, because your money could get involved there in a wrong way. So you need to really work well before you can take the plunge to invest and grow your money, grow your wealth, right? But again, hold on, don't be reckless. Spirit is saying Ace of Wands. So Spirit is saying you have to take your time. Don't be reckless. There will be a new beginning in your life. But at this point in time, you have to act on your wisdom, or with your wisdom and practical common sense. Don't be naive. Don't be naive. Don't be foolish. Don't take people's words for granted. Do your own diligence. Do your own research. Find out more, work for it. Work for that whole story by yourself. Because, if you want to begin something fresh, a new cycle in your life, Pisces, you need money, right? You definitely need your money to grow. So for which, if you act on impulse, Ace of Wands, if you act with an impulsive attitude, you will end up losing instead of gaining that part of the story, right? So you have to be careful. Okay, let's look at the Ace of Wands. There is something new. Let's see what Spirit has to say here. The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. You have been attached to some kind of a dark side of the wealth, could be inheritance, the Nine of Cups. Yeah, you have been attached, some of you have been attached with an inheritance property, which was, where you thought was your wish fulfillment and success in life, right? You have been attached with something that was not your that there was really no love in that situation, but you were only there for money for some of you. And the money was more because you wanted success, or you wanted happiness, whatever. But if you want to start a new fresh cycle of your life, guys, in the right way, you have to let this attachment go. You have to let this attachment go in order to find back your own wish fulfillment, your own happiness, your own money, your own success. It's basically becoming independent, not taking money from your parents or your inheritance or your family, or even your own money that you had put in a family situation where you had been tied down only because of the money, but there was no love in there, basically, right? And for some of you, you might have thought that money brings you back your wealth and success. So, no matter what in your life that you have done, you know, you remained attached to this wealth. Because this is where you thought with this money you can fulfill all that in your life that you have been dreaming about. So you have been attached to a situation for a selfish reason, for some of you. For a very selfish reason. And Spirit is saying that won't work for you anymore. If you really want to grow, you have to do your hard work. If you really want to improve yourself, you have to put in a lot of effort. Again, in order to become financially independent, right? If you want a new cycle to start, you have to release your selfish desire here. You have to work for it now in the right way. Okay? Only then success will be yours. Victory will be yours. So that's Spirit's advice to you. Now, your probable outcome is again the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So your probable outcome in the month of March will be very difficult, with a lot of conflict in home or in office or in both places for some of you. Okay, let's look at this. Just talk to me about the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, where you might have to face, again, like I said, a lot of conflict, a lot of problems. There will be a lot of situations that you will find it difficult to handle, maybe for some of you, Let's see. This is probably where you were attached to some dark side of the wealth, only for your selfish desire. For some of you, I'm even getting that. Yeah, the Queen of Wands in the reverse. See, they are telling you guys that this kind of conflict or situation will persist, at least in the month of March. It won't go away. So for you, Pisces, you have to change yourself. That's one. Point number 2 is that your self-respect will be hampered if you continue to sit in that same place. So you have to realign with your own energy, because you do have a lot of self-respect. You don't want to sit in a place and be insulted time and again. You know what I mean? So it's time to move from that situation. Realign with your self-respect and tell them to go take a walk. You don't want to be there, kind of a situation I'm getting, right? So it's time for you to make a decision here. Whether you want to stay there, wherever you are, home or office, and get bullied and be insulted, or do you want to use your own self-respect and make a move from that situation in your life? The 4 of Wheels. Because again, money is coming in the picture, right? Greed is coming in the picture. Uh, so, what is more important to you? Self respect for yourself, or greed for the material world, or greed for your material happiness? Question and answer would be yours. What do you want to do? Do you respect yourself really that much that you can let that greed go? Maybe that company is paying you a lot of money, but your boss is treating you absolutely bad, right? The company is probably giving you a lot of benefits, but they're giving you a lot of hard time too. So now, because the money is good, the benefits are good, which is understandable. But again, all the conflict, all the situation, is it worth it? Question yourself. Is it worth it? Do you want to respect yourself and move, or do you want to disrespect yourself and respect the greed and the wealth and remain there? The answer would be in you. Find that out. And this could be causing you a lot of stress because you are also going through the same thing. You're not getting an answer here at this point in time. You're very stressed out about this situation here, right? You're very, very stressed about this situation. But you are in dearth of any idea right now. You still don't know what kind of a situation you will, what kind of an option you would have to choose now. You really have two options. Either you stay there and get bullied every day, or you move and have your self-respect on a little bit less, but have your self-respect in place. So I leave it on to you guys. This is your reading for the month of March 2022. Happy birthday. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.